Oh my God! Oh, iba na!
Daniel.
Daniel. Lele.
My son is just resorting to sit like this. He doesn't care about the spoon anymore. This is just much more efficient for him. And boop. Daniel, is it good?
Here, I have all my leftover.
He's trying to drink it. Oh my goodness. Daniel, is it really that good? Use your spoon.
It's called what spoon?
Oh my goodness. Daniel, I need you to put down the knife. I need you to put down the knife, son. This is a very dangerous way to live. No. You just stay right there. Put the knife down. Put the knife down. Put the knife down. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Daniel's gonna get us. Dude. Oh no. Now my other son has the knife. Oh no. Where are we all going? Whoa. You okay? Well, progress on their room for New Year's. Oh my God, he had the knife again. He keeps pointing at the clock we just put in the room. So, he actually got this clock for his birthday back in June. Now I finally got up. I just got the TV mount installed, so we can finally get a TV in here for them to watch. So for when we have guests over, they can just sit in their playroom and then be able to watch TV without disturbing any guests that come over. So yeah, plus it's a good way for when my wife's putting Daniel to sleep here. June can sit in this room and play and watch something, you know, while staying upstairs. But yeah, he is totally. Daniel, yeah, you're all about the clock right there. He's pointing at the clock. The clock?
The clock.
Yeah. I also just cut their hairs. You know, dad cut. Very terrible. This one, just nothing but crying and all the trouble in the world. Right, Daniel? Right, June? Uh-huh. It's a mess because he just would not. You'll see these random lines, but he just kept flailing everywhere. But we did the best we could. Happy New Year's, guys. Daniel, stop pointing the knife. It's so dangerous. Oh, don't chase it with the knife. Oh no, it's like a gangster war going on right here. I know, you keep seeing the clock. Hello, YouTube. I wasn't recording during the New Year's week, first week, but I'm going to ignore it for today.
Mm-hmm.
We went to H Mart earlier today after visiting my wife's parents. They had all these random flavors that we just kind of had to try out. I got 2 for Darius because he likes the wafer stuff, but we haven't tried these flavors before, so it's currently
Probably like 11:30.
almost 11:30, and you're she's having like the midnight munchies right now. She already killed 1 pack of this one. Right now she's trying the matcha. That's why it's hard for me to lose weight, guys, because she eats non-stop. She never gains weight.
I still have to lose weight.
Oh,
For my
that's the
pregnancy.
pregnancy weight, though. Yeah, it's different. Let's see. She's trying the matcha. Wow, 1 whole bite. Holy crap. Not even a bite. Just, whoa. Did you see that disappear? That just disappeared from my camera. Oh, that was a camera moment. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, honey. That's on video now. Oh my God, I'm crying. How is it, by the way? Is it good? Okay, as long as it's good. Which was your guys' favorite?
I like it.
So it's currently about 2:58 a.m. in the morning, January 6th. So I gotta be very quiet. But I'm finally finished the project for the boys. So I still gotta figure out what to do with the one power cable. But for now I put this in front of it, so. But the room is coming together. They finally have a TV to be able to watch movies and stuff while they play in here. Eventually we're gonna get a new toy storage and couch set up here and everything, but it's coming along. It's a nice secondary room for them, or you know, if they ever want to play by themselves. But just show you guys, yeah, it's pretty late in the morning. I have to open the store in 6 hours, so I better get some sleep. But one project down for the week. So good morning, guys. It's the morning of Wednesday here. I'm just gonna make a quick section of this video for the week. It's a little rant, but like a mini one. But for those of you who don't follow me on TikTok, so I was actually up till about 4:30 a.m. dealing with this issue. Well, technically 3, because I spent an hour setting up the boys' TV, and then I proceeded to then reply to messages and stuff last night. But I had my very first video violation, community guidelines violation, and video got removed. And, you know, I look at it 2 ways. I'm obviously highly annoyed and confused on why that particular video got taken down. But I guess I should also be flattered, because the video was actually doing really well, because in the first 15 minutes it did 7,000 views, and in terms of TikTok, that's really good traction in the beginning. A lot of people were liking it, commenting, sharing it. It was going really well. So it was about to do probably not viral, but it was probably going to be one of my videos that did really well in terms of at least getting to a couple, 10,000, maybe to 100,000 views. And the video was in regards to, so initially I actually didn't want to make the video, but enough people were pushing me and asking me and just convinced me to just be like, just put your trust in the community again, to just, put it out there. And what the video I made was just talking about our COVID relief fund. So ever since COVID started, we had a GoFundMe to just gain any type of support that we could to just get through this pandemic. Because for those of you guys who have been following me on the videos here and stuff, know that yes, we got a lot of followers on TikTok. We've gone viral a couple of times, and now we're on our way to start franchising at the end of the month, with all things that are good. But the biggest issue is that we weren't immune to COVID. The effects of COVID. Business was still down overall this past year. Yes, we've done things to offset those losses and survive, and we're doing what we can at this point, but doesn't mean that we are at where we were previously. So we've had to let staff go. We've had to renegotiate rent. Thankfully we were able to renegotiate credits and debts and everything. But it's still, doing all that is still a struggle. And on top of that, me, Amy, and Darius, the 3 people that are still running the shop, are working for next to little to nothing, because everything that we are making is going right back into the store. So in order to help grow the inventory and build the business that we need to accommodate the new traffic, we had to reinvest in more inventory. We have to catch up on bills. We have to catch up on credits, loans. Like, everything is starting to come around. 9 months since we went into shutdown, everything now is coming full circle, and we have to pay all those things. 9 months of debt just don't disappear. Like, they're going to want that back, including rent and everything. Now, even though my landlord has been hyper and super reasonable with us, there's still money owed to him at the end of the day. And so we decided to make this fund to, number one, the main goal of it is to at least be able to pay back both Amy and Darius, and a little bit to myself too, to help catch up on some of our bills. They've put in a ton of hours, and on top of the hours that I put in, just to make sure to help that we can keep this place going, and that I'm not there 12-15 hours a day and not being home with my children. So it's, just to help them out a little bit. And the other half of it is to help us get through the rest of this winter, because we don't know how January, February, March are going to go. like just in general, the winter months are usually slower months in retail. So when you combine that with a pandemic, that's just a double whammy that we're not going to be prepared for. So, and so we've been struggling. And I've actually been against posting a video like that due to the potential backlash that could happen. But I didn't expect it to get taken down due to community guidelines violation. And the thing is, the reason I got it taken down was for I forget exactly what it was, but I read the policy on it, and it was talking about like if you're promoting Ponzi schemes, pyramid schemes, and you're out there legitimately exploiting people for profitably gain. And so I was like, is that it? So it's me asking me responding to community support, that the community wants to support us by helping raise COVID relief funds for a small business. It's a Ponzi scheme? And it's just, there's so many other videos out there on TikTok, and I know you guys have seen it, that are blatantly fraudulent, or, you know, worse in other aspects, or people legitimately just posting movies and whatnot. And I get flagged and removed for posting about COVID relief for a small business. Okay. I mean, that's kind of where it's at. And I'm at the point at where, you know, now I've only slept like 4 hours, but I slept, got some sleep, got to think about it a little bit more this morning. And thankfully we have some really awesome members in the community here, where I think one individual pretty much almost made me cry last night, just with the kindness that he showed us and everything. But people responded very well, and the video's doing decently now. It's, you know, up to a couple thousand people, and, you know, word's going to spread hopefully. And I did put an appeal in, so hopefully the original video gets released, and hopefully it continues that traction and everything. But ultimately, you know, those funds were just to help bridge the gap of the need that we need because we haven't sold any franchises yet, and we're still working on it. The contracts should be available. I can probably start sharing and calling people and negotiating contracts starting at the end of the month, hopefully. But, you know, we still have to get there. Like, you can still, you're like, oh, your prize is at the end of the, you know, at the end of the tunnel. You're there. No, we still have a gap we have to kind of navigate through. And so that's what it all was for. And, you know, for someone to, I don't know who, obviously, you know, it's hidden who does it. You know, anyone can it's just like YouTube. Anyone can flag a video for copyright or, you know, inappropriate or community guideline violations, and the video gets redacted, or, you know, it gets blocked and removed. And then it's a whole process to go ahead and appeal it. And I guess the one thing I'm more irked about is, you know, I used to, you know, I'm technically a YouTuber again, you know, doing this channel. But even before LPX, you know, it reminded me, it's just like, it's kind of sucks. In a 15-minute video, if you use a song for like 15-30 seconds, boom, copyright strike, they can claim your video. Like, and you have to become more and more original with your content. That's why even in my TikTok videos, I've been trying not to use any soundtracks or anything. Just using my original audio and leaving it at that. And YouTube as well too, I've stopped using music just because, you know, there's a whole nother issue with music and stuff as general too. But it just kind of sucks. It just kind of sucks that one person or a few people can do that. But then the flip side too, you know, I guess we're doing well enough now. We're at a position in the influencer world that, you know, we're gaining those kind of people. So, you know, it sucks, but it's a win. You know, I'm still kind of meh about it, but we're still getting overwhelming support. So I do, like, you know, that's all I can really ask for, and I really appreciate. So it's currently Friday, January 8th, 11:17 in the morning. I actually had the store closed till 3 o'clock today so I can finish resetting the shop, because I think I mentioned in the previous video that just been, we're obviously trying to get ready to reopen again, semi. Like, we're not going to do the open play space, but we're going to do the cafe, the theater room, and the 2 back rooms. So I had to get those set. But earlier this week, just the majority of this week in general, I've had to catch up on paperwork, orders, bills, accounting work, and it's just on top of doing work for my accountant next week. And so it's just been on top of the franchise work. So it's just been, I haven't been able to touch the renovations, but thankfully, like, I didn't reopen right away on Monday because the store wasn't ready. I wasn't ready, clearly. And I'm glad I gave myself a week. But then come last night, I'm like, all right, Thursday, I got to dedicate to it. So we, as you guys can see, we redid this entire section. So the office space is still going to exist because, we've been working very efficiently up here, being able to process all the shipments and the orders that come in, but we've consolidated it down. So there's a lot more even here. And all the shelves here have now been moved to the cafe space. And so I've actually the cafe space has been a bit of an eyesore for me for a while now. And I was just like, it's about time we make it look right. If we're going to reopen the cafe space and this side of the store, essentially, we might as well make it look the best we can. So I've taken what resources I could from over there and put them over here. And so the counter space, I got to clean up, obviously, in the next hour or so, but the new pickup counter area. So now people are going to be able to pick up their drinks, like, right from here, just like, you would at any cafe, like the pickup counter and stuff. Let me put my coffee down. I'm also going to be putting up a new wall art here. So if anything, we used to have a wall art here previously, but then I got contacted by the original artist to take it down, so I did originally. And so it was really nice because we were serving ramen here. So it was a picture of like the Naruto 4 character Team 7 sitting at Ichaku Ramen having ramen. I thought it was really nice, but had to be taken down, unfortunately. And so the wall was torn up, and I've been trying to repaint it for the last year and a half, and then I just kept covering it and forgetting about it, and I decided to finally cover it. And so I can't afford a vinyl like I did before previously, so I'm going to do what I did before, like I did on that wall there. Not as big, though. That one was about over 500 pages. This time around, this one's going to be a 300-page image, so you guys will be, I'll show you what it looks like later on, but that's a low priority. Like, as much as I want to get that wall decorated so this place looks banging, I got to get inventory done. I have to reset the seating area here. I have to finish cleaning up this front area. We got a lot of work done yesterday, and I've been at the store now for about 2 hours, and I've really cleaned it up in the last 2 hours as well too. So the gaming space, the tables have been fully reset. I had an issue with the screw here, so I had to fix that really quick. We're not allowing people to play in the open gaming space yet still, but I'm going to reset it to show people what it would look like for COVID. And obviously post-COVID, it'll be like at least double the amount of seating capacity. But I'm going to leave the demo game still set up. So, it's not just an empty space. They can kind of see what it would normally look like. I have to now also, so the reason for actually me closing the main room is because, number one, I'm emptying. So this was our storage room to store everything that we weren't using in the floor. But now that we're resetting, I got to empty it out because I need to repurpose this room to house our 2 remaining computers, so that families, couples, friends can come in pairs and be able to still play PCs. So I'm not resetting the PCs out here quite yet, but I'm going to set 2 computers in here so people can play. So I'm going to get that done. So I got to get that done. Thankfully, this room is just a simple table space, so we're still figuring out the decorations, nor, we can't really allocate funds to it right now, but try and get that done in the next few hours, hopefully before everyone gets here. Because on top of that, I gotta do the inventory. Doing the inventory for the grocery stuff, that's gonna take me at minimum an hour, if not more. I also have to cook boba. Oh, I have to reset the kitchen too. Oh, there's so much to do. I always do this to myself with renovations, and I think it's a common theme if you guys looked at my old videos. I would start a project, and I'm not like a laser printer where I will print one document at a time. I'm like the old school dot matrix printers. For those of you who are old enough to remember the dot matrix printer when it was like, eventually the image will get printed. And so that's kind of what it is. I mean, Darius called me out on it yesterday, but yesterday was actually a prime example of why I couldn't focus on one area or another, because I needed one piece from one area at the current space, but the current space also had pieces that in the other. Like, I need to keep going back and forth to just like slowly clean up the areas and make space. It was like it was just like it's like those puzzle games where you have to move the blocks around until you get the numbers in order or something. And I had to like, it was a mess. But I think I made some good progress last night. I made some great progress this morning. So now it's just gonna be buttoning up. I think I can plow through getting the PC set up here. So fingers crossed on that. But I think other than that, we should be good to go here. So it was actually the end of the day now. So it's close to 10 o'clock here on Friday night. And sorry, I'm a little lightheaded and stuff too, just because I ended up just, you guys will see this before you see this video, but I ended up doing this spicy ghost pepper tebak, which is like very flaming spicy, this new spicy ramen challenge. Apparently it's 1 million Scoville levels. I don't know if you guys can see that there. Definitely lived up to its reputation. It's probably the hottest thing I've ever had. That's the first time that like my cheeks to my ears got numb and tingly, so that was a little scary. So I'll have that video posted up separately. Wow, I'm still kind of like feeling weird about that. But just wanted to show you guys some of the changes. So I definitely ended up finished cleaning up this area. So I still got to clean up my office space and kind of in here. I just kind of threw the rest of the stuff in there to get it out of the way. But it's definitely cleaned up a lot nicer. Here, I'll flip the camera here. So you guys can see we tucked this table back a bit, brought the Mortal Kombat machine here, and it's definitely just staged. So we're not letting people sit and play quite yet, but we can at least show people, hey, like this is what's going to look like once it's all set up and done. So, and I also got the back rooms done here too. So if we go back here, I still got to bring one more table back here for these guys, but we'll have one more table here. Got the 2 PC rooms set up here. So whether it's couples or families, they can come in and then just sit and play here. So I'm going to shut these guys off. So this room took a little bit longer than expected. I'm eventually going to put some like LED lights up here. So like when I turn off the lights, they can just glow. Like kind of how they are right now. But yeah, so excuse me. No, work's getting done. Oh, the cafe space. So you guys take a look at the cafe space now here. So the cafe space. Oh, I didn't quite get to it, but I'm gonna move all the figurines so they kind of fill this space completely all together. So it looks like a Tokyo style cafe. I'll probably get started on the image tonight, so I'll at least get like one part of it started here, and then get it going. So hopefully. I already told my wife I'm going to be late tonight, so hopefully by the morning, I'll at least have a good portion of it done. This space here, I'm going to have to reset the tables back, but this is all pretty much set. So we now have a walkway through here as well. So this definitely feels a lot better. The front counter space is also just wide open now, so progress is being made. But yeah, to the weekend. Let's go.
He's so silly. Well, good evening, guys. It's currently Monday night, January 11th. Well, it's almost Tuesday. It's 11:48 right now. But Happy New Year. I think, I think I took that break the last week of Christmas into the New Year. But yeah, welcome to the New Year, guys. I hope that everyone's, I know the news really recently hasn't been so great. So 2021 is off to a great start in that aspect. But I hope aside from that, everyone's doing good, everyone's safe, everyone's healthy. And doing their best, to start off the year on the right foot, given the circumstances, obviously. Quick update on us. I'm not sure I don't exactly remember what I recorded to what I'm editing, but you guys are getting this one take. I'm on my way to the bank to do a deposit, so you guys can get a little bit of a break here. But no, these past 2 weeks, been an up and down up and down weeks for sure, just like every other week's been. You know, it's kind of just like I'm gonna admit that my mentally I've been distressed just because there's just a lot going on. I'm kind of getting nervous. It's sort of like, you know, I think the best metaphor that I came up with was, you know, you have a final paper due, like for college and stuff. You know, you have a term paper that's due at the end of the month. You know, you've been preparing it for the last 3-4 months, but usually the last couple weeks, or even especially the last week, you're rushing to just fine tune it, or for those that plagiarize, really get it done, and you're just, until you submit it and then you get your grade back, you're going to be stressed the entire time. And so for me, like, you know, we finalized a lot of the info to the best of our ability. You know, just, you know, whether, you know, the budgets, the financial forms, the startup costs and everything like that to report to the FTC. So they're getting the franchise disclosure document done right now, and the lawyers are writing up the first draft. So for those of you who are interested in following along for the franchising side of things, that's what's going on. And so I'm just waiting for that to be completed so I can then review it. And once I review it and finalize it, I submit it. But unfortunately, we're past the stage of me adding more things to it. And in terms of the budgets, the finance, the forecast, everything like that, those are pretty much set in stone. Otherwise, we have to redo the whole thing. And the thing is, this happens so quickly that I'm still finding things. I'm like, oh, I gotta make sure to include this in the budget, include this in the budget, include this in the budget. And I'm doing it again to the point where I am looking for things to delay it, to find more work, and I'm creating more work than I need to. And it's hard for me to admit it, and it's always hard for me to admit it. It's a problem that I've been dealing with for many, many years. I'm always looking for problems. It's just kind of how my personality is and everything. But ultimately, though, I'm hoping that the first draft looks really decent. The consulting company feels confident about it. The legal team feels confident about it. And that way we can then just submit it for final review. And then maybe towards the end of the month, early next month, I can start interviewing people. Now, another problem has emerged since then, and we discussed this before, that some newer videos on TikTok went viral even further, and we had a lot more franchising inquiries since then. So we've had a lot of people send emails and submit location requests and information requests and stuff like that. And I think we've narrowed it down now to about 500 people. So we went from about 130, 200 roughly, to now more than doubling it to over 500. Now, don't be impressed by that number. That's just people who are interested in learning about the franchise opportunities. Because, like, for example, McDonald's probably gets thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of inquiries about franchise information per year. How many actually end up signing up? And, you know, that's probably a very low turnover rate because of the amount of money required to open up a location. I can't tell you how many times where me and my wife love food, and we would look up, Quiznos, and, you know, Quiznos, Panera Bread, Popeyes. Like, we would look at these franchises, and then we would look at the cost and just be like, I think Panera Bread was the one that shocked me the most. You had to have, like, I forget the exact number. It was either 4 or 9 million, but one of those two numbers. You essentially have to be a millionaire in order to open up a Panera Bread. It was just like, okay, never mind. We're not doing that. And so and that's the thing that's been stressing me the most lately. And it's just been, people are going to look at the cost that it's going to be to open up a Gamer's Heaven, at least in its base form. And I came up with two budgets. I came up with a high and I came up with a low budget. And it's pretty much a product range, essentially, to open up pretty much my exact same store with up-to-date equipment. Because, you know, my stores right now, it's been hodgepodge together for the last 5 years, but I made this budget thinking, okay, if I wanted a fresh start, if I wanted to restart the business with a fresh start, what would I need and what would I get to just go ahead and make it the way I wanted it to from the beginning? And I initially had 2 very high numbers, but then I eventually refined them and lowered it down so that the lower number was as low as I could comfortably take it. Because the biggest thing that came up to me was there's things that I made sure not to omit because I didn't want the person to fail. So for those of you who are waiting for those numbers, you're going to get them soon. And when you see them, I urge you to make sure you read through exactly what it's built up of, because I'm putting in there safety mechanisms in order to give you even more time to succeed. And so we're going to be working together on this, obviously. And so what I'm hoping is, and it's kind of 2 things, where I hope that the majority of the people that have submitted requests are going to be filtered by so another thing I'm working on is Wednesday, I have another meeting to meet about developing the website. So the franchise website page. So for those that are interested in franchise information and etc., they're going to be able to go to this web page link to get all the information they need, the high level information. So the cost breakdown, the fees, royalty fees, franchise fees, location requirements, size requirements, all those points. It's gonna be like tick tack, bing bang boom. It's gonna be public information, and a lot of people are gonna be scared off by that number, and that's kind of what I've been nervous about. Like I was like, out of 130 people, 200 people, nobody could end up signing up. Now with 500 people, that is still a probable outcome, because I think what my consulting companies told me that the turnover rate for a franchise is usually about half a percent to 2%. So with that logic, it could be anywhere between 2 to 10 stores out of 500 people that we could end up opening, which is great. And that's actually my goal for this year. So that is what I'm hoping for. But the opposite is going to be true. Like we're in, the economy is in a rough state, and I know not everyone's doing well, and so it's a concern I have, and I know I don't need to worry I shouldn't worry too much about it. That pretty much though, I'm really just hoping like I'm able to at least sell 2. That way I can develop the current home store in 2 other locations and really refine it. I mean, obviously I would really hope for 5 to 10. If I get 5 to 10, we're off to a tremendous start. I think it's a phenomenal start to any type of franchising business, because if I'm able to get those 5 to 10 stores open by the end of the year, they're set up, they're doing well, and they're happy right off the bat because we're able to focus on them, market them, and get them successful. That's epic. And then that's just going to make the next 10 so much easier to open, because we're going to already have these stores under our belts, the experience under our belts. We're going to be ready to go. And, and that's where I would like to be. But then I've been kind of also on the other side. So while I've been getting stressed and upset about potentially not selling any franchises, the opposite has also been bothering me too. Because when I count the number of emails of people who are like, I already have investors ready, I have a location ready, I already have funding ready to go, let's do this, that number also scares me, because I am not ready. I don't have a company made right now. It's just me and a few other people doing this right now. And you know what, I could probably do a one take because the camera's out of sight, so you guys won't see. I'm just doing our storage deposit from the weekend. Sorry about that little pause. I realized I couldn't multitask that function. But as I was saying, if I'm presented that we can open like 20 plus stores, I'm not going to say no to that. And I think I've internally made that decision. But what that means is, because we still have to finish, so realistically the first store couldn't open till at the earliest midsummer anyway, because of obviously COVID and everything really putting a damper on things. Plus I have to finish up the operation manuals inside of things as well too, because I can legally start selling contracts in January, but that doesn't mean I can start training people right away. And so I still have time to finish all that. But that means between now and to the point of when I first start training people, I'm gonna have to build a legit company in like 4 to 6 months. Have personnel, hiring decisions to make, building locations to make, training guides to make, policy and procedures to make. There's a lot of things to get done. And I have to make a company in a very short time. And obviously the consulting company already advised that they would help bring in an experienced franchise executive to help kind of streamline the process. So someone that's either above me or there with me to guide me along the process. So that was definitely, I appreciate them saying that, because they're just like, they were like, some of their successful franchise companies had that problem several years into the franchising process. So they went several years of opening up a handful of shops at a time, maybe one or two at most, to then all of a sudden opening up 10, 20, 30 at a time. There's obviously shortcomings with that, because there's two trains of thought. You can either build it up slowly and eventually over time have the same amount of stores as if you opened up 100 all at once, and then you have people failing and closing their shops along the way, and eventually there's an equilibrium in terms of that. So you can ultimately end up the same way. But I'm confident that if that many people want to open up, that just means there's that many more people that would go and patron these locations and really help grow the brand. And so I would do it. I would welcome it. But obviously, like, I think that's like, that's really unlikely that's gonna happen. There's I'm trying to make sure I don't hype myself up too much, because I don't want to get to the end of the month and I should be happy that I sold one or two, and I don't want to be like, oh, we didn't end up selling like more than I expected. Like, I don't want to do that, because right now I'm much more paranoid about not selling any, and it's been kind of going all over. So aside from that, I know that was a very long explanation of my thought process there, but that's just kind of where I'm at. And on top of that, I'm just like, the store is another problem, because we're dealing with competitors. Obviously, we're also dealing with having to reopen, because obviously at the end of the day, the home store needs to be okay. And thankfully, sales have maintained. So we definitely have made more sales, and we're making enough to get by, which in the situation that we're in with COVID and us, sorry, it's a police officer, and with us being closed, I'm just like, because we're not operating our game space right now. And even though we're allowed to reopen it at 50%, we're still choosing not to run the game space for a couple of reasons. Number one being, obviously, the safety measure, because I do take this virus seriously. I also am on the other side of it, where I'm starting to get tired of it, but I know that I need to do what I need to do. And so I'm doing it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm still doing everything that we need to do here. And I don't want to deal with the anti-maskers. I don't want to deal with the people who, like the guy who gave us a 1-star review because we were, quote unquote, harassing him about his mask, and he just didn't want to follow our rules, and he just wanted to give us a problem about it, and he got so offended that we were enforcing our rules that he did that. And we've dealt with so many people like that I just didn't want to risk anymore, because the risk, if one of us gets it, if me or one of our business partners gets it, we have to shut down the store for 2 weeks. And with the income that we're making passively right now, it is not worth it to me for the little extra money that we would make right now. My store's at its prime when we're fully open. Running the kitchen right now at half strength, it's actually a waste. And I need to be at what we were at pre-COVID. Tables full, people coming in to play the consoles, systems, full house. And a full house means, like, kitchen is firing, food is firing, sales are being made, in-house sales. Because right now, what I'm looking forward to the most is when we do go back to normal. And this is why I'm so confident that the franchisees will do well, is everything that I'm doing now, all the new sources of revenue that I've created are new sources of revenue. These are clientele and revenue sources that have never existed before. Now I added on to what I had previously. Now, not 100%, because obviously we've had to dedicate some space to other aspects of the business. But at the same time, we were never, there are times where we were a full house, yes, but there were many days in the middle of the week where that space wasn't even being utilized. So I feel like this is a nice, happy medium blend, and I think this is why it's going to be successful. But right now, we're not, allowing people to play in store. We're doing reservations only for the rooms, and that's starting to go too. But I don't know. It's just, sorry, there was a cop there. Please don't pull me over for having my lights on. Excuse me. Excuse me for the lights here. But enough about that. Not enough. Just sorry. This is kind of like me venting right now. I know it's supposed to be a Happy New Year. And before I continue, I guess it's good things. These are good problems to have, because it's not that, I'm not trying to brag or anything like that. I'm not in the position where I'm like, I gotta make immoral decisions that I could potentially face public backlash in order to survive. No, the business is doing well enough that we can get by. And, in this situation, that's more than I can ask for. And I'm quite happy with it. And I've been struggling, I guess, these days just because we're shorthanded. Because right now, we're maintaining ourselves, but I can't maintain additional employees right now. And so I'm having all three of us are rotating in. And when I'm there, I am trying to do my other work. Because trust me when I say this, like, I got frustrated really last month because there was a lot of more detailed work that I wanted to put into the initial franchise disclosure document, but I didn't get to spend as much time as I hoped. And I put a lot of hours in, don't get me wrong. I've been doing work for the last several years on it, and I've been refining for the last 4 months just to get it right. And again, going back to the game, this is just me being hard on myself, because I'm always so, confidence is an issue. What's it called? Hard, contrary to belief, I do have a confidence issue. And I guess it's been amplified more recently just because I am a father, I'm a husband, I'm also a son, so I'm worried about my parents. I want to make sure I take care of my parents. I'm an older brother. I want to make sure that my little sister has someone that she can turn back to and turn to in case she needs the help, because she also has a son. So I have a nephew that I love dearly and I miss wholesomely. I can't wait to see him soon. I would adopt him as my third child if my wife would let me, but Noah, Noah's his name, and I definitely want to be sure that Uncle Andy is there for him if he ever needs me. But I also want to make sure like my kids are taken care of, and then ultimately too, my wife. Obviously, she's not the type that's gonna hold the wedding over me. Like, she's like, the Disney wedding would be nice, but she's gonna love me. We're still gonna be together. We're gonna raise our children. We're still gonna be happy. But I think it's such a nice way. And then ultimately, I guess, obviously, what's more important is that we're okay. That my family can take care of ourselves. We're supporting ourselves. We have insurance. We have insurance again. The kids are healthy. Everyone's happy. That's the most important thing. It's not about being rich, but making sure that I'm able to build something that we can support our family with and we can be happy. And I want to emphasize, that is my main priority, obviously. But a secondary benefit, if things are successful, is and I've mentioned this before, but really give her the dream wedding that she's wanted. She's fantasized about it, and she doesn't. My wife is not the type to openly talk about the things she actually wants. She's just not that type of person. And I've really learned more about this recently, just because I see it come out in terms of the things that she's gotten as gifts and how she reacts, and when she looks at things she wants, the disappointment in her eyes, in her voice when she says, "I really want to, but I know we can't." And it's just, and she doesn't hate me for it, but obviously I put us in a situation where, before I didn't do this business, we would be going on more vacations. and we would be able to buy more things for the boys and stuff like that too. But we are here where we are here now, though, and so I would love to get her at least her dream wedding at Disney. It's my dream too, but it's more for her, and I really want to make it a special week for her, essentially. And then from there, just be able to take care of them. Let my wife comfortably shop on Target, Amazon, and just, my wife's a hermit, by the way. If she can have her way, she will turtle up in a blanket and stay in her room all day if she wants to. That is her, and I don't mind it. But she also does like to go out, eat, and shop too. And I would like her to be able to do that, especially with the boys. Be able to send them to be able to afford to send them to daycare. To give my wife that break. And there's just a lot of things I want to do. And obviously, aside from that too, is also take care of the people that really got us here. So the former partners that are no longer business partners, and I discussed this in previous videos, but at least get their investments back. I am not obligated to. Once we go about our ways here, what's done is done. But I want to make sure I take care of them. Like, ultimately, I'm going to recognize, like, I would not be here if it wasn't for them. They dare not argue the opposite way, because I would have found other methods. I would have found ways, and if it wasn't for me continuing on, everything would have been lost anyway. So there's no argument there on that. Sorry, my throat's dry. But no, I'm sorry. This ended up being kind of more of a rant, but I think a lot of you are appreciating it. And I hope you guys appreciate. I'm just being candid with you. You're getting my actual thoughts on this, and I apologize, because when I get driving, I get talking, it just kind of comes out, and I'm not hiding anything. I have nothing to hide. And so people give me crap about being too honest sometimes. I share too much info. But I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of what, like, if you need to hide it. I mean, obviously there's certain things you can't discuss, and I'm definitely omitting a lot of things in terms of details and stuff. But the overall statements, I'd rather be truthful. Like, I'm not trying to like hide myself, on this platform or anything. Plus, I think this is a more real conversation, even though I'm technically talking to myself. This is actually the kind of weird thing is, I'm sitting here just talking off, and I'm acting like there's someone in front of me, but I've just been yammering away. If anyone else was looking in, I'm just some crazy man talking to himself in the car while driving, like. But just got to my house, so I'm gonna wrap it up. But I hope you don't please don't take away what I just said as a negative. Like, we are off to a great start for the new year, aside from everything else. I actually said it yesterday. We're in an odd position because I wasn't expecting us to make the sales that we did. I really wasn't. I was being very pessimistic about the sales, but I was like, we made enough to pay our bills, and we now have extra so we can get through the rest of the month. I just kind of looked at myself. I'm like, this is a weird feeling, on top of being stressed and everything like that. So it's just like, okay, we're off to a good start. And I hope that next week, so this week here, I'm able to provide some updates. So I'm making improvements to the space. I'm doing some other work, but hopefully you guys are going to start seeing more and more things rolling out and everything like that. So we'll go from there. But please, guys, let me know. I know you guys leave me thumbs up. I really appreciate that. So please continue to do so. Also, leave a comment to just kind of let me know if you guys are enjoying this. Also, if there's just topics you guys want me to cover. Otherwise, I'll just keep on going the way I'm going with these videos and everything. And if you watch this part of the video, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell, because that does help the algorithm really push this channel. If anything, I think I now have a goal to make my personal channel surpass my old LPX Tech channel. So that's about 21,000 subscribers. And I think that'd be great if we can just build up a core community here. Because my TikTok is one thing, and that's more of a fun type thing. But I think this right here can really evolve into something special. And so we'll just kind of go from there. So we can do this together. So as always, guys, whatever time of day in the world it is that you're watching this video, please have a good day, good morning, or good evening. See you guys in the next video.